Time for another full review. Hey, hey, hey. Good morning, YouTube. What's up, everybody? I hope you're safe and healthy and happy and doing okay. Today we're doing another full review, if you couldn't tell by the title of this video, the thumbnail, the singing in the beginning. Now you know. Also, check out my Saucony Fireside fleece, okay? I got this at the fun run that Runner's Edge did last weekend. And if you want to see that video, I made one. Click this link right here. It's really fun. We had a great time. But anyways, enough ranting and raving. Today we're talking about a shoe that I really like. And I am not really in the majority here. I've seen a lot of mixed reviews, some people really not liking the shoe at all, and some kind of liking it, but I really like it. And that shoe is a Nike Zoomfly 4. This shoe definitely has over 50 miles, and I'm ready to give you my full thoughts on it. Today, it's all about what worked for me, what didn't, and what rating out of 5 stars am I gonna give this shoe right here. So we're gonna get to all that, but before we get started, what are we doing? I can't hear you. No, I really can't. Forget you. We're gonna do the run footage. Hit it, Ruby. Ruby's mad at me because I had to take her to the vet this morning for a checkup, so odds are she won't be on camera. Before we get started today, I do want to let you know that this shoe was sent to me by Nike and Running Warehouse. However, neither company is going to see this before you. They can tell me what to say, and all of my opinions are my own. Despite this upper having some things that I don't typically agree with or like, I did find this upper to be really comfortable and adaptable for my foot. So normally what I'm not a big fan of are these ankle collars that are kind of like rough around the edges here and have the padding like within the ankle collar. That's what we have here, as you can see, and sometimes I feel like that has the potential to cause irritation, but for me, in my case, it did not cause irritation. Now, I will say that I wore a higher sock when running in this shoe, simply just because it's colder outside. So that could absolutely have something to do with it, but I didn't really feel this material rubbing under my ankle at all where the sock was. So that's a good thing. I'm also really not usually a big fan of like a booty construction. It does have the potential to kind of be a little bit constricting, and I can never just get a right feel or a right fit. Here, I was able to get a good fit. I'll tell you a little bit about what this shoe has. Up top, we got kind of like a knit collar going on here, this stretchy thing that sits over the top of your foot, and then we have a mesh layer on top of that as well, just to give it a little bit more structure. I did really like the way the knit collar felt on my foot. I thought it was really comfortable, stretchy, and like I said, adaptable. And then this mesh upper is just nice and thin, nothing too crazy, and it just helps to get that breathability through that toe box. So I really did like the way these two kind of worked together. One thing though that I do want to mention about this construction is that at times, kind of like depending on the sock I was wearing, it could feel a little bit more snug than I typically like. Nothing like, it doesn't hurt, it's not completely restricting me and just totally unworkable. It's just like hugs me a little too tight. And If I wear like somewhat of a thinner sock, medium to thin, then I don't really feel that. And I had no issues with hot spots, blisters, or irritation here. And I think Nike did a nice job kind of stepping out of the box, trying something new, and not totally ruining it. So, great job. This is the part of the shoe that I think most people have a problem with, if they have a problem with this shoe. And that's because Nike is using their React foam here, big old slab of React foam. And then in the middle, sandwiched in between those layers of foam, we have a carbon fiber plate. What people don't like about the React foam is that they don't think it's exciting anymore. They think it's kind of past its prime. A couple years ago, React was like the hot thing, like the Epic React. You guys remember that shoe? It was like fire. Everybody wanted it. I loved it. But now, fast forward to 2022, and everybody wants a magic shoe. And React foam doesn't feel magic. I will give you that. It's not super exciting. But man, I just think that this midsole is super comfortable. And I don't know, like it feels magical to me just by how great it feels under my foot. It's nice and soft, but it has that little bit of bounce to it. And the carbon plate isn't totally interfering with your stride. So you really do get a nice roll forward as opposed to this like launching forward sensation. And I'm really digging that. I think it really helps to make this shoe compatible for daily training and not just tempo day stuff. I've worn this shoe on so many runs where I'm just like going at a normal pace or a little bit like slower than my normal pace would be. And it performs fine. I've had no problems with it. And if I want to pick up the pace, it can do that and is made to do that. So I mean, what's really not to like here? It's not this super critical special foam. You know, everyone's so obsessed with that, and I get it. I like those foams too. But I think here the React does just a great job giving you what you need. On the Running Warehouse website for this shoe, it says that the foam, the Nike React foam, is supposed to be very shock absorbent. And I would back that. I definitely think that this is shock absorbent, but without feeling dead. Another thing that I thought was pretty interesting is that I thought this was gonna be an overpronation nightmare, especially because of how narrow it is right in here. This is usually just a recipe for disaster for my foot strike or foot stride, whatever you wanna call it. And amazingly enough, when I'm looking at the running footage, I am not seeing a ton of overpronation here. So somehow this is fairly stable for me. Again, this is a neutral shoe. This is not a stability shoe. Don't go out saying, well, Emily Heller said I can wear this shoe even though I'm a stability runner and I desperately need a stability shoe. Not what I'm saying. I'm saying that this shoe, for a neutral shoe, isn't completely collapsing and wobbling around, for me at least. I know that running in a carbon plated shoe for every single run isn't really recommended, and I don't typically do that, but this shoe makes me want to do that. I guess one negative and probably a qualm that a lot of people have is that this doesn't really feel super lightweight. I mean, it's lightweight in terms of like daily trainers, but for a tempo day shoe, it could be probably a little bit lighter. The foam also feels the same to me from the first time I took it out of the box. I haven't felt any real wear on it. There are some creases here and there on the foam, which is expected, but there's no dead feeling here. So I think that this is really gonna give me a lot more miles. The outsole of the shoe is holding up. I have barely any wear here. Discoloration, perhaps, obviously, from getting dirty. But that rubber, if I'm looking at it here in the light, the traction pattern is still there, which I cannot say the same for some of these other shoes that I review. There's a little bit of wear here right at the very top of the shoe, but that's really the only place I'm seeing, and I've also found that the traction here is pretty good as well, so I really don't think you can go wrong. I can't say that I have any complaints about the outsole whatsoever. The price of the Nike Zoomfly 4 is $159.95 on runningwarehouse.com, which I think is pretty similar in cost to the Endorphin Speed 2, which I would say is this shoe's direct competitor. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think because of that, it is in a reasonable price range. If it was like $180, I'd be like, Nike, what are you doing? I wouldn't put it past them, but you know, it would be too much. If you're interested in picking up a pair of the Nike Zoomfly 4, I'll put a link in the description of this video. You can click that, pick up your own pair, but just keep in mind that is an affiliate link with Running Warehouse, which doesn't mean much for you. It just helps out my channel so I can keep making these videos and putting you onto shoes that I absolutely love. And as you can tell, because I just said it, I absolutely love this shoe. And for that reason, I'm giving the Nike Zoomfly 4 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really want to give this like a 4.7. Not really 4.5. It's like 4.7 for me because really I'm just docking it for the upper being a teeny bit snug in some circumstances, and I don't really love this collar here. I think that could cause some problems for some people. And I just wish that this was a tad wider. Just make it a little bit wider for us overpronators to sneak into the shoe. And I just think you have an absolute winner here. Then I'd give it 5 out of 5. I can't lie. I know some of you are cursing at the screen right now saying, what is she talking about? That is not worth 4.5 or 4.7 stars, but to me, it is. All right, now let's throw up a screen with the pros and the cons. For pros, I have the overall upper comfort, the great feeling midsole, the outsole traction, the overall durability of the shoe from the outsole, midsole, and upper, the versatility. You can really take this shoe on tempo runs, on long distance runs, easy, everything in between I think can do just fine. And for what class this shoe is in, I think it's priced pretty fair. For cons, I have that the upper was a smidge tight with some socks. I don't love the ankle collar of this shoe, and I wish they would make the midfoot just a touch wider. And that's it. I mean, this is a really great shoe. I'm gonna 1010% keep running in this. It's my go-to when I don't have something to review. And who knows, maybe this can be a companion for me in some races. We'll have to see what the future holds. All right, well, that concludes my full review of the Nike Zoomfly 4. If you enjoyed this video, please like it down below and subscribe. And when you're done with all that, hit the notifications bell so you can find out every time I upload a new video. I also do love the color of this shoe, though I kind of like the men's better with the orange. I have another video for you next week, but in the meantime, get out there, get on the grind, and don't forget to run like Heller. See you next time. Ruby, are you mad at me for taking you to the vet? Oh, she's very mad. Hi, Rube. I love ya. Sorry about the vet.